second best, scared to risk what the future might bring. What the future might bring. I hold my breath, waiting for someone to knock at my door, telling me there is more waiting for me. Whoa. If I love you harder than I've ever done before, oh, maybe I belong somewhere above the water. My lungs are tired from running for a long time. My feet got blisters, but maybe I belong if I love a little harder.
Soon after, I left, feeling pretty surprised by this turn of events, but I was gonna take any help I could to sort out Mom's situation.
You might be flying high right now, little bro, but I know what your biggest weakness is, and I'm gonna use it to bring you down very soon.
The next day in class, I just couldn't focus on what the teacher was saying because I couldn't stop thinking about how both Dom and Margot's seats were empty, and I wasn't the only one.
Where's Margot?
I saw her last night by the lockers laughing with Dominic. They probably sneaked off somewhere. I can smell something juicy going on between them.
For some reason, that made me feel kinda sick to my stomach. Later at recess, I could barely get my lunch down.
Jeez, your chicken nuggets are begging you to eat them already.
I'm just full. Mom gave me some extra fried chicken when I did some deliveries this morning.
And you didn't give me any? How dare you? You're gonna... Oh, no, you don't, you little butthole.
I leaned over to see Clover playing a video game furiously. You're getting all worked up because of a game?
I tried it the other day because I was bored, and apparently I'm really good at it. But also, it's become really personal now. This unbeatable Beast 123 keeps on challenging me because he or she can't accept that he or she is totally beatable.
Wait, your username is Sharks Can't Poop 96?
Yeah, Woody, right?
Is it? Just then, I noticed Dom walk in, and he was instantly surrounded by a horde of girls, which he didn't seem to mind at all.
So, were you able to talk to Mr. Newfound Fame about your mom's deportation problem?
No, but someone is already taking care of it. I looked down at Ace's message on my phone, who had texted me earlier saying someone was already working on getting Mom's documents in order. Suddenly, I was startled when Clover slammed her hand hard on the table.
Yes, take that, loser! Ha!
You're such a dork.
Who does this Sharks Can't Poop 96 think he is? You're just a noob and I'll beat you next time.
Later that night, I was sitting at my desk with my laptop when an email popped up, and as I read it quickly, I jumped out of my chair in excitement. Mom! I quickly picked up my laptop and ran down the stairs to the kitchen. Mom! Mom! Just then, Mom came running in with a fire extinguisher.
Where's the fire? Or the thief?
What are you talking about? Mom, I got offered a huge publishing deal. If I sign up, they'll give me an advance payment to start, and it could really help us right now. Mom dropped the extinguisher and squealed for joy as we both hugged each other and jumped around like kids. Okay. I need to calm down. I think I'm gonna go out for a quick walk.
But it's rather late.
I'll be right back, don't worry. And with that, I hurried out the door and started walking around the neighborhood, buzzing with excitement. All I really wanted to do was call Dom and tell him the good news, and I almost dialed his number a couple of times, but something held me back. Then suddenly, a car on the road started slowing down next to me, and I felt a bit alarmed. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to be walking alone at this time. I picked up my pace when someone called out.
Sadie, it's me!
I sighed in relief and turned to see Ace leaning out his car window.
What are you doing out here?
Just walking.
Listen, I'm glad I caught you. I want to talk about your mom's papers. Can we go somewhere and sit?
Where?
Just nearby. Hop in.
I felt a bit awkward, but I wanted to know what he had to say, so I got in the car. I thought he'd take me to a cafe or something, but he stopped outside a playground. Why here?
It's a beautiful night, and I thought we could sit on the swings.
Oh, well, you just didn't strike me as a swings kind of guy.
Sure I am. I just miss being a kid sometimes.
You've been working for your dad since a young age, so that's pretty understandable.
Yeah, Dad has always relied on me and I can't let him down, you know? Besides, I've always wanted to save the world by doing something great through biotech.
That sounds awesome, Ace. Anyway, about those documents.
Oh, right.
Ace reached for his jacket's inner pocket and handed me some papers.
You and your mom just need to read and sign these papers, and then the lawyer I'm working with will process them in just a few days.
Oh, thank you so much. Also, I just got a publishing deal and I can use the advance payment to take care of the fees.
A publishing deal? That's amazing! I knew they'd get in touch with you.
Wait, what? How did you know that?
Shoot! Sorry, I wasn't supposed to blurt that out.
Ace looked away shyly and scratched the back of his head.
Okay, you caught me.
You were behind this?
Since I knew you won't accept any money from me, I thought about showing my friend your story online because he's working for a huge publishing company. I decided not to tell you about this because I didn't want to raise your hopes too soon.
Wait, how did you even find my story?
Well, everyone at school has been talking about your interesting pen name.
Oh, right. So everyone knows Princess Wok Wok is me. That's kinda embarrassing.
It's cute, and I was really hoping the publishers would call you.
Ace, can I ask you a question? Why are you suddenly talking to me? This is like the first time in so many years, and then you're just doing all this and it's just too much.
Remember that night by the pool when I brushed an eyelash away from your cheek? You've never left my mind since then. Well, it's not like I never noticed before how pretty you are. I really don't know why we didn't talk to each other before.
I was caught off guard as he leaned over from his swing and gently pushed away some hair from my face.
Am I going too fast or making you uncomfortable?
No, I mean, it's just a bit overwhelming, and I don't know how to thank you for everything.
There's one thing you can do. Just go out with me and I'll make all your troubles go away. I would really take care of my girlfriend.
I sat frozen in my spot. Ace, of all the people in the world, liked me enough to be my boyfriend? My mind was spinning, and my face felt like it was on fire. Can I think about it?
Of course. Take all the time you need. I can wait.
I'd been standing outside Sadie's door for at least 10 minutes, hesitant to knock. I knew I hadn't been very nice to her lately, and I wanted to apologize. I started pacing across the porch as I practiced my lines. Dude, I'm sorry about my attitude lately. I'm just hurt because you're not telling me everything, especially about what's going on between you and Ace. Please forgive me. I miss you. I hope we can... Suddenly, the door opened and I jumped back.
Oh, Dom, I didn't know you were here, sweetie.
Hi, Mrs. Wilson. Is Sadie home? Her bedroom window is closed.
She went for an evening walk around the neighborhood. She got a publishing deal and she wanted to calm herself down. Isn't that great news? Oh, but of course, she already told you, and that's why you're here, right?
Wow, yeah, of course. That's why I came. To congratulate her in person. But don't you think it's a bit late for her to be walking alone?
Well, she called and said she's with your brother.
Oh, I see.
Do you want to come inside and wait for her?
It's fine, Mrs. Wilson. I'll come by later. Good night. I felt anger bubbling inside me as I walked back to my place. Why were Ace and Sadie suddenly so close? Why hadn't she even spoken to me about this? This was not okay. Just then, my phone rang, and I was surprised to see it was Margot. Hello?
Hey there. What are you doing right now?
Nothing much. Just getting ready to sleep.
Can you come over?
Now? But it's almost midnight.
It's okay if you can't. My parents are out of town as usual, and I was just feeling a bit lonely. But it's no biggie.
I thought about it for a few seconds, then said, I'll be there in 10.
Great. See you soon.
I wasn't really sure what I was doing. But if Sadie could be out on moonlit walks with my brother celebrating good news in her life, well, I could certainly hang out with Margot. Which maybe wasn't the best idea, because I was just feeling kind of awkward being there in her living room as we settled on the couch to watch a movie. But Margot seemed more keen to talk.
My parents are super busy. I'm always alone here, and sometimes it drives me crazy.
How about Dana and your other friends? Do they come here often?
Not much. I'm not really comfortable with them.
Then suddenly she removed the cushion lying between us and moved much closer.
I'd rather have you here. I hope you don't mind.
Oh yeah, no, I had some time tonight. Otherwise I'm quite busy nowadays, but... Suddenly she leaned in even closer and kissed me square on the lips. I felt stunned.
I think I like you, Dom. Do you like me too?
A few nights later, Clover was at my place for a sleepover, but I could hardly focus on anything and kept rewatching Margot's stories on Instagram. I mean, it just doesn't seem like Dom.
What doesn't?
Him hanging around with Margot and partying with her circle of elite friends.
I got news for you, girl. Dominic always belonged to the elite circle. Maybe he's just wondering now why he was hanging out with us commoners all along.
Oh, come on. He's never been like that. I just don't get why he'd change overnight. And what's worse is that whenever I try to talk to him, he finds a way to avoid me. It's driving me nuts.
Just admit that you're jealous.
I'm not. I'm just saying, all these parties and public displays are more like Ace's style, not Dom's.
Speaking of Ace, you need to give me all the details on that.
I don't know what to make of Ace. He's been really friendly the past few days. More than friendly, in fact. He's been flirting with me a lot, and he's the one who's been helping me with Mom's problem. Clover nearly spat out her soda as she stared at me in disbelief.
That was him? Did you give him a love potion or something?
I find it weird, to be honest. He's just too good to be true. He's even planning to send some bodyguards to protect us from those goons who keep threatening Mom. What if he's up to something?
What could he be up to? And really, what do you have to lose? You date a hot guy and get your mom out of trouble. You can always break up with him later if you don't like him.
But I don't know how Dom will feel about this. They've always been rivals, and I've been put in a difficult position.
Well, Dom isn't around much lately, so...
Right. Clover was watching my face intently, so I forced a smile. Before I forget, Ace actually asked me out to a party.
Then what are you waiting for? Stop being so boring even just for a night and just go.
I was almost considering it. Yeah, I think I was gonna go. Dom was busy partying with Margot. Why should I care what he'd think of me going out with Ace? I walked into the club on Ace's arm, feeling many eyes on us. The place was buzzing and everyone was really glammed up, which made me feel awkward and out of place. But Ace led me straight to the dance floor and pulled me in by the waist.
Isn't this amazing?
Yeah, I guess. Listen, I don't really know how to dance.
Just follow my lead and move to the rhythm.
I was sitting on a bar stool next to Margot when I spotted Ace and Sadie on the dance floor, and my stomach flipped. I felt something close to rage when I saw Ace's hand on her waist. Just then, Margot grabbed my hand and pulled me to the dance floor too. And soon enough, Sadie turned in my direction and our eyes met. I could see she looked surprised and quickly tried to hide it as she gave me a weak smile before looking away. Of all the guys out there, why my rival? Traitor!
Why am I even surprised that he's dating her? She's practically perfect.
Margot had her arms around my neck, and suddenly she grabbed my face and kissed me, and I kissed her back.
My heart felt like it was breaking as I saw Dom and Margot kiss. I needed to get out of here. I gently pulled away from Ace. I gotta go to the restroom. I ran to the bathroom, locked myself into a cubicle, and then I burst into tears. The next day at school, I was still feeling bummed out about the events of the night when I walked over to my locker. As I was taking my books out, a small silver envelope fell to the floor. There was nothing written on it, but I found 2 cards inside. The first card said, "It's been years. Can't wait to finally meet you. Dad." I stood frozen for a few seconds in surprise. What kind of prank was this? And who would play it on me? The second card said, "Dinner at 6 p.m. Brasserie de Pierre. Give your name at the reception." Yeah, sure. I'll go to this high-end French restaurant to meet you, Dad. What a stupid joke. I slammed my locker shut and tossed the cards in the trash. But later that day, when I went to my scooter in the school parking lot, I found the same silver envelope in the front basket with the same notes inside. Someone really thinks this is funny, huh? Just rolled my eyes and started rummaging through my bag for my keys. And as I fished them out, the same envelope with the same cards fell out. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. I took a deep breath and looked around to see if anyone was watching their prank playing out. There weren't many kids around, and no one was paying attention to me. You know what? Fine. If you're watching me or whatever, you win. I'll play your little game and find out who has the time to prank me using a father I've never met. Later that evening, I arrived at the fancy French restaurant at 6 p.m. sharp and walked up to the receptionist. Can you please check for a Sadie on your list?
Mademoiselle Sadie. Yes, please, let me guide you to your table.
The server led me to the main dining area, and I was about to burst with curiosity. I followed him to a secluded corner where a man in his 40s was sitting at a table checking his phone. The server bowed his head and left, and I stood there confused, wondering what to do next. Just then, the man looked up at me, and his face broke into a smile as he rose quickly from his seat.
Sadie? Oh my, you're actually here. Please, sit.
Who are you exactly, sir?
I was hoping you would just call me Dad.
I just stood there staring at him, frozen in shock. I was sitting across from this strange, elegant man, and I had no idea what to make of this situation. Is this a joke? Did someone ask you to do this?
I know it's weird that I've just sprung up out of nowhere, but I swear, this is not a joke. I really am your dad.
How do I know you're telling the truth? The man quietly placed a folder on the table and pushed it towards me. I opened it hesitantly, and it was filled with photographs of him and my mom when they were both younger. Mom had a visible pregnancy bump in one of the photos, and there was a sonogram too. Then I saw some letters and cards, unmistakably in Mom's handwriting. I don't understand. You look happy here. Why did you just leave? And what are you doing here, coming back after 17 years?
I had no choice but to leave. My parents were against my relationship with your mom from the start. When your mom got pregnant, I told my parents that I was gonna marry her. My father threatened to hurt her if I didn't stop seeing her. He was a dangerous, powerful man. I had to leave to keep you and your mom safe, but I never stopped loving you both.
Why didn't they like her?
She came from a poor family. And there was someone else they wanted me to marry, and I did. She got sick and died 3 years after our wedding.
Why didn't you look for us earlier then?
I did. I found you years ago.
Years ago? So what? You sit comfortably on your expensive couches in your fancy suits while watching Mom work to death to feed me and send me to school?
Sadie, I tried to come back so many times in the past 10 years, but your mom wouldn't let me.
I was taken aback by that revelation. What do you mean? Why would she do that?
Your mother hates me, and it's understandable. I tried for years to win her forgiveness, but she kept pushing me away. It was hard to watch you both struggle, knowing I could give you everything. I know she kept all this secret from you, but please don't hold it against her. I know she's just trying to protect you.
Dad reached out and placed his hands on mine.
I decided to reach out to you this time without her knowing, because I've watched you from afar for too long. I wanted to meet you so much and try fixing things.
This is a lot to process.
I know, I'm sure you're overwhelmed. But can I ask you for a favor? Do you think we could meet again tomorrow? I'd like to take you for a day out. It would give us a chance to get to know each other better.
I stayed quiet for a few seconds, feeling a storm of emotions. And then I said, sure, I think I'd like that. Dad gave me the widest smile, and I couldn't help smiling back. The next day, we met at a bistro for lunch, after which he took me to a luxury mall. Dad led me into a designer clothing shop, where the owner was practically tripping over himself trying to please us and showing us racks of their newest collection. I looked around at a few pieces, but none of them had price tags. Sir, this doesn't have a tag.
Oh, Miss Sadie, we do not put tags on our products, but it's for $2,300.
Oh, I see. It's lovely. I turned around to put it back on the rack, but Dad swooped forward and took it from me.
We're taking that and anything else you want.
But it's too much. I really don't need...
No buts. You agreed to do this with me today.
By that evening, I was surrounded by shopping bags, and I was wondering how I'd smuggle them into the house.
Tired?
Actually, yes. Can we go home now? I think it's too much already, and I'm worried about Mom seeing all this. Dad looked at me for a moment, then sighed.
I understand. Let's get you home then.
I had to get dropped a block away, climb over the back wall with all my bags, and sneak them in through my bedroom window. Just as I was inspecting my shopping, I suddenly heard a knock on the door.
Sweetie, are you there?
Oh my God. Yes, Mom. Just one sec. I quickly shoved everything under the bed, leaving only one bag on it before I composed myself and opened the door. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Sadie. You're smiling really weirdly.
Am I? I'm just happy to see you.
Where were you after school? You weren't answering my calls.
Oh, Clover dragged me to the mall and she gave me a cute dress and boots as an early birthday present. We were busy having fun. Sorry I missed your calls.
I see. Well, come down for dinner in 10, okay?
Hi, Captain.
You're acting strange. Is anything wrong?
Not at all, Mom. I'm just excited for dinner. Nom nom. In fact, I'll just come down with you now and help you. Mom was looking at me suspiciously as I pushed her out of the room and followed her. I had no idea how she'd react if she really knew what I'd been up to that afternoon.
The next day at school, I was standing with Justin in the parking lot when 3 fancy cars screeched in, and Margot, Dana, and her minion got out of them.
Why are they walking and acting like they're on the set of Mean Girls, weirdos?
I tried not to laugh as Margot approached me with a smile, But just then, Sadie arrived on her scooter, and there was something different about her outfit.
Louis Vuitton boots and a Gucci. Who is this?
I only know one person who owns that ugly scooter.
Chicken delivery girl. There's no way she can afford those brands.
Clover suddenly appeared beside us, sipping on an iced latte.
Sorry to burst your jealous bubble, but I think she can, and she looks good.
Sadie took her helmet off, and she wasn't wearing her glasses. Then she shook her hair out, and I couldn't peel my eyes away. She looked stunning.
She probably got plastic surgery on her whole face.
I thought you said she couldn't afford those brands, and now you're saying she can't afford plastic surgery? Make up your mind, girl.
Ugh, I'm not even talking to you. Isn't there a button to shut you up?
Dana slapped the coffee cup out of Clover's hand and stormed off with her minion. Just then, I noticed Margot staring at my face, and it felt like she could read my thoughts. Let's go to class, shall we?
Yes, let's.
She put her arm through mine, and even though I was tempted to, I didn't dare look back at Sadie.
As I got off my scooter, I could feel quite a few eyes on me, and then Clover came running up to me excitedly.
How? What? When? Why?
I'll tell you everything. Hold on, we're late for class. But it turned out, so was the teacher. I noticed Dom and Margot talking, and he didn't even look my way as I walked in. So I ignored him too and went to a corner, where Clover and I huddled close together as I told her everything.
So you're telling me that your dad finally showed up and he's a freaking billionaire?
Jesus, your voice!
Sorry, so you're telling me that your dad finally showed up and he's a freaking billionaire?
Yes, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. Mom's gonna kill me if she finds out I met him. It's just too complicated.
But you have to.
Just then, Clover got distracted as she looked towards the door.
Your boyfriend is here.
I turned around to see Ace leaning in the doorway, gesturing at me to come out, and somehow, it just annoyed me.
Wake up, my friend, your Prince Charming is calling you.
Can you be any louder?
Wake up, my friend, your Prince Charming is calling you.
You're dead meat. I forced a smile and walked up to Ace reluctantly. Ace, what are you doing here?
I just wanted to see you. Do I need a reason?
But we're having class.
I don't see any teachers around.
Then he stepped closer to me and brushed his finger against my cheek.
I saw you this morning and barely recognized you. You look stunning.
Ace, everyone's watching. Let's talk later, okay? I was sure Dana was digging a hole in my skull with her glare, but I felt more conscious of what Dominic must be thinking.
Okay, but can I have a kiss?
What? No, but before I could finish, he was pulling me closer, and just as I was about to push him away, Dom jumped in and punched his face.
She said no!
What the heck is wrong with you? Aren't you satisfied with what you did last night? It wasn't enough?
What are you talking about?
This!
And then Ace unbuttoned his shirt, revealing bruises all over his body.
You attacked me because of your stupid jealousy. Is that how a young businessman behaves? What a disgrace to our family. Just stop it already, bro. Sadie just sees you as a friend and nothing more.
What? You're spitting nonsense!
With that, Dominic shoved him back, and Ace dropped like a feather to the floor, clutching his arm.
My arm! Ow, my arm! I think you fractured it!
I couldn't believe what was happening. I knelt down next to Ace, who looked like he was in a lot of pain, and then I glared up at Dominic. Dom, have you lost your mind? What is wrong with you? He turned to me with a hurt expression, and just then, the principal walked in on the scene.
What on earth is happening here?
Dad had called me into his office, and I was feeling both nervous and angry because I knew it was all about the drama Ace had created. As I walked in, I found Dad sitting stiffly in his chair, while Ace was smirking in a corner with his bruised face and arm cast. You asked for me, Dad? Dad silently reached for the tablet on his table, then pushed it towards me. Feeling confused, I clicked the video on the tablet, and I was shocked that it was a recording of the fight between me and Ace in school. It showed me punching his face and then pushing him to the ground while Ace wasn't fighting back at all.
Would you like to explain why there is a video sent to my email anonymously of you starting this fight at school, Dominic?
I looked over Ace's blank face and felt anger boil up. Dad, this jerk!
Anyone seeing this video will think that you're a very violent person, Dominic!
I'm not, Dad! You know this!
But other people don't. The possible future CEO of my company attacking his own brother like a rabid dog.
I felt shocked as Ace looked. Dad really was considering me as the future CEO? Dad sighed and slowly shook his head.
Do you remember the story I used to tell you when you were kids?
Oh no, Dad, please don't.
No, you both need a reminder. There once was a wise chimpanzee who ruled the forest. He took in a lion cub and a wolf cub and raised them like brothers. They both grew up to be strong and fierce, and no one dared to hurt their kingdom when those two stood together. But then a slimy old python started to whisper to them both, "You're better than your brother. You have the stronger genes, You should be king. The two started to fight viciously, and then everything fell apart. Their poor old dad was killed in his sleep by the python because no one was looking after him. And then the pythons took over and banished the wolf and lion from their kingdom forever.
Okay, Dad, we get it.
I'm so disappointed with your actions today, Dominic.
I'm sorry, Dad. It won't happen again.
Make sure that it doesn't. I'll leave you two to sort out your issues.
Then Dad got up and left the room, and I turned to Ace. You sent that video to Dad. Did you get a friend to film the whole thing for you?
Can you prove it? Maybe I just got lucky that someone had their phone out.
I don't hear a denial.
I just know you too well, little brother. Anyone gets close to Sadie, and you will act without thinking.
What is your deal with Sadie? Just stay away from her.
And who are you to dictate anything? Have you asked her if she wants me to stay away?
Stop using her to get to me. That's so low of you.
All is fair in love and war, Dommy. You might have won Dad's favor to consider you for CEO, but you'll never win Sadie over.
She's not some consolation prize to be won because you didn't get what you wanted.
Who said she's a prize?
I stepped closer to Ace. We both know that at this point, I'll probably end up becoming the CEO.
Getting a little more confident, huh? I hope you can maintain that.
Ace's lips curled into an evil smile, and I turned and left the office before I punched him again.
After their crazy fight, I hadn't seen either Ace or Dom at school for the next couple of days, and I was keeping my mind off of them by hanging out more with Dad. As I was coming home one night after meeting him, I saw the living room was dark, and I figured Mom was in her room. I was quietly tiptoeing my way to the stairs when the living room was suddenly flooded with light, and I jumped out of my skin.
What are you up to these days, Sadie?
Sweet zombie kittens, Mom! You scared me!
You really seem to be enjoying your dad's company lately, huh?
I froze in shock. What? How did you know? Mom sat down on the couch, looking really upset.
I saw you walking out with him from a restaurant a few days back. I've been waiting for you to tell me about it, but I guess you didn't have any such plans.
I knelt down next to Mom and held her hands. Mom, I swear, I've been planning to tell you, but I just couldn't find the right time. Mom pulled her hand away from me.
Stay away from him, understood? And don't even think about asking for help from him.
Could you talk to him? Just once? Everyone deserves a second chance, Mom.
You believed all his words, didn't you? If you're gonna choose your dad, then fine. Go ahead. You're gonna have a more comfortable life with him.
I can't believe you're saying that, Mom. I just want to have a complete family.
Well, I guess I'm not enough for you.
Mom, it's not like that. But Mom just got up and rushed to her room. I ran after her, but she closed the door in my face. I kept knocking, but she wouldn't open up. Mom, please, we have to talk about this. I finally gave up and went to my room in tears. I called Clover, but she wasn't answering her phone either. I looked over at Dom's place, and I felt even worse. I felt I needed some fresh air, so I climbed out my window and lay on the soft grass, tears streaming down my face as I looked up at the stars. Just then, I spotted something in the grass from the corner of my eye. It was a praying mantis. Oh, wow, it's been a while since I saw one. I was about to crawl quietly to catch it when someone else got to it first, and I looked up to see Dom. What are you doing here?
Chasing some praying mantis, obviously. Are you crying?
What? No. My eyes are just sweating because it's hot.
It's actually quite chilly. Sadie, is everything okay? You can tell me like you always do, you know.
Dominic leaned over and gently wiped the tear off my cheek, and my heart skipped a beat, but I quickly tried to hide it. Wow, look at you, ignoring me for weeks and now pretending that everything's fine? What's happening to us, buddy? And why did you get so aggressive with Ace? Dominic stared at my face for a few seconds.
I don't know either, but I just wanted to.
Just then, Ace suddenly called out to Dom from their balcony.
Hey, bro, your girlfriend has been calling you nonstop.
She's not my...
You should go. I gotta head back inside anyway. See you around. And then I walked away with fresh tears pouring down my face. The next morning, as I shut off my alarm, I sleepily checked my phone, and my eyes grew wide at a text I'd received. It was from the principal, saying she wanted to place an order for 50 fried chickens for a lunch party. Whoa, for real? I ran downstairs to the kitchen where Mom was already frying chicken. Mom continued frying like she hadn't heard me. I got 50 orders from our principal for lunch.
Okay, I'll prepare for it.
I walked up to her and gave her a bear hug from behind. I miss you, Mom. I don't like you being mad at me. Mom unwrapped grabbed my arms and kinda pushed me away.
I'll call you once the order's ready.
Okay, and I left the kitchen with a heavy heart. A couple of hours later, I was running breathlessly to the principal's office, carrying her huge order. I knocked at the door before entering, then walked up to the desk and placed the food on it. Good morning, ma'am. Here are your 50 fried chickens. Phew. But the principal looked shocked and almost terrified.
I have an allergy to chicken. Get that away from me.
What? But I got an order from your number, ma'am. Look, this is yours, right? The principal narrowed her eyes as she looked at my phone screen.
There's been some misunderstanding because I never texted that number. Just take them away, now. The smell will make me break out into hives any minute.
Feeling dazed, I picked up the order and left the office. Why did she have to be so rude? No wonder they called her Rude Tank. Yeah, Tank for being fat. I had barely taken a few steps down the hallway when I found myself face to face with Dana and her minion.
How dare you take your chickens to my mom? You could have killed her with those.
I'm just a delivery girl doing my job. I'm not a psychic who can predict an insecure girl's plan to play a stupid prank on a small business.
You're indeed a writer. You're good at making up dumb stories.
I bet her stories are as embarrassing as her.
You can always read one to be sure.
Not interested in reading something by a cheap chicken girl who's trying so hard to fit in. So now you're making up some mysterious long-lost billionaire dad just so you can impress someone like Ace?
Oh, so this is what it's about. And why would I need a rich dad to impress Ace? You've always had one. He's never paid any attention to you. As I started to walk away, Dana suddenly snatched the bag from me and flung it aside. Everyone in the hallway gasped as all the fried chickens went flying across the floor. And then Dana's minion started crushing them with her feet. What makes you think you can treat people like this? Do you have any idea how much hard work you ruined in seconds? Of course you don't, because you're just a stupid, spoiled brat. You know what? I actually feel sorry for you, because you are the most pathetic person I've ever met.
How dare you?
Dana leapt forward to attack me, but just then, Margot stepped in calmly, holding her iced coffee.
Margot, you have got to start taking my side. Chicken Girl started it as usual. She always provokes me.
Margot turned around to me with a strange face, and for a second, I thought she was going to do something to me. But then, she abruptly turned back to Dana and flung her coffee in Dana's direction, and some of it got over Dana's shoe.
I already warned you, Dana, but you never listen.
What is wrong with you? I can't believe you do this to your own friend.
Don't think I don't know the things you say behind my back. I'm not sure you know how to be anyone's friend.
I thought a catfight was about to break out between them, but then Dana leaned away.
Come on, girl, let's go.
As she turned around to leave, Clover suddenly appeared and stuck out her foot. Dana tripped and fell on the floor with her head first in some fried chicken.
Tastes heavenly, right?
You're all gonna pay for this.
As she stormed off crying, Margot suddenly grabbed my arm, her face expressionless.
You and we need to talk. Meet me in the chemistry lab after school.
Before I could respond, she walked away too. What was this about? I was at the lab before Margot, and she turned up about 10 minutes late. She sat down on a stool and looked at me squarely.
Listen, Sadie, let's get this done in a civilized way. I know Dom's into you. I'm not so stupid that I wouldn't notice it. So, I need you to stay away from him.
Suddenly, her pretty face became threatening.
You don't want to see my other side, Sadie. You know my dad, right? He can do anything, literally. And, well, my mom, she's a senator with a lot of connections. I can just tell them how violent Dominic is and how he tried to hurt me. Everyone already saw what he did to his own brother. I can ruin our scientist lover boy's life in just a snap. So really, it's up to you. How do you want to play this?
I was speechless for a few seconds. Wow, I didn't expect that from you. Why are you doing this?
Because I can, Sadie. Because I can.
Margot got up and exited the lab gracefully, while I sat there in shock. After talking with Clover and thinking a lot about everything, I'd finally made some decisions. I walked over to the pool next door, where Ace was doing laps. When he spotted me, he quickly came to the edge.
Wow, I wasn't expecting to see you here. You haven't been answering my texts or calls. Listen, I'm sorry I upset you that day. I shouldn't have tried to kiss you. I didn't know you weren't ready.
Ace, never mind all that. We need to talk. Ace just looked at me as I sat down on a pool chair. You've been very good to me, and I'm grateful for everything you did, but I don't think we should see each other anymore.
Why?
Because you don't deserve to be with someone who isn't sure about you. For a second, I saw a furious glint in his eye, but then his face softened again.
If you give me time, I know I can change your mind.
I'm really sorry, but...
You know I'm willing to do anything, right? I processed your mom's papers, didn't I?
So what, you just used me?
No, you offered to do it. You said we're friends, right? And I tried being more than that, but I just can't. And then everything that's happening between you and Dom, what is that? I know he's not a violent person, so are you making that up?
Wow, you saw him punching me and pushing me, and I didn't even fight back? And you think I'm the liar here?
I don't know what to think, except that I need to end this.
You do know that I can reverse the paperwork I got done for your mom, right?
Is that a threat? You know what? Now I feel certain that I've made the right decision. Goodbye, Ace. And I walked away quickly, feeling relief wash over me.
As we were having a silent family dinner one night, Dad suddenly cleared his throat.
So I've made my decision regarding this company.
Ace and I quickly looked at each other before turning back to Dad. My heart was beating a mile per minute.
And after careful deliberation, I'm making Dominic the CEO of the company by the end of this quarter.
Oh my God.
Dad, are you kidding me?
Dominic has proven himself with his research and gained the trust and respect of the board. I've made the decision that makes the most sense right now.
Ace's face had twisted into rage, and suddenly he swiped the plates off the table and sent them flying into the wall.
Ace, have you lost your mind?
No, Dad, it looks like you have. You've been preparing me to be the CEO my entire life, and you just gave it to this lowlife? What do you expect me to do, roll over and drool?
I expect you to respect my decision and behave yourself.
You'll regret this, Dad. You're making a huge mistake.
And with that, Ace stormed out, slamming the door hard behind him. I think he's just shocked. Dad, he'll be fine.
I really hope so. Sorry that this moment has been ruined for you. Congratulations, son. I'm sure you'll always make me proud.
Thanks, Dad. I'll do my best. As Dad retired to his room, all I wanted to do was run over to Sadie and tell her the news. In fact, I wanted to talk to her about a lot more. But before that, I had to speak to Margot, and I headed to her place immediately. When I reached Margot's mansion, a maid let me in and informed me that the family was having dinner and I could join them. As I got closer to the dining room, it seemed like there was an argument happening inside, and I stopped at the door.
How many months will you be away this time, Mom?
Do you need an exact deadline? It will be longer than usual.
But it's my birthday next week.
It's just a birthday. We can always celebrate later. Why are you throwing a tantrum?
I'm not throwing a tantrum.
Oh, before I forget, Dominic's father told me that he'll be announcing Dominic as the official future CEO of Biotech any day now.
Oh my, that's wonderful. The company will be in good hands with him. He also has this perfect image in the media, which is beneficial for us. Margot, it really is one thing you've done to make us proud, darling. You chose the right guy.
Nothing else about me makes you proud, Mom?
I just gave you a compliment, Margot. Why do you always make everything so negative?
I think we should announce an engagement between Margot and Dominic soon. The public loves that kind of news, and it'll make my deal with Biotech all the more secure.
What? Engagement?
But how are things going between you two?
Everything's great. He's the sweetest.
That's amazing. Maybe I could postpone my appointment so we could throw a grand party on your birthday. We'll raise a toast to Dominic for becoming the CEO, too, and make him feel special. How does that sound?
Oh, wow, really? I'd love that.
I backed off quietly and went to the living room. Suddenly, things were making a lot more sense. Margot had only gotten close to me to win her parents' favor, and they obviously cared more about their image than they did about their daughter. I was still lost in thought when Margot walked in, looking surprised.
Hi there. How long have you been waiting?
Oh, not that long. Listen, there's something I need to talk about.
Oh my God. I think I already know. Your dad made his decision, didn't he? Are congratulations in order?
He did, yes. But Margot, that's not why I'm here. I have to say something else. Margot looked at me, then quietly said,
This is about Sadie, isn't it?
I'm so sorry, Margot. I don't think this will work between us.
I realized that some time ago. But Sadie likes your brother. What are you gonna do about it?
I don't know. All I know is that I need to be honest to you and to myself. Margot came closer to me and put her hand on my face.
That's a good start. Thank you for being honest, Dom. I would never want someone to feel stuck being with me. I care for you. And Sadie, too.
That means a lot to me. I have to get going. But please, don't be a stranger.
I won't.
I kissed Margot on the cheek gently and then left. It had gone much better than I'd hoped.
If I'm not happy, I'll make sure no one else is either!
Clover and I sat silently on my bed, staring at the photos I'd received in the mail last night. I told you, Margot wasn't kidding. She'll use these fake, bruised pictures of herself to destroy Dominic's image. And it won't matter that it's not true. It's It's just about creating enough doubt. She's influential enough to make a big deal of it in the press. Once that happens, the board of directors will definitely suggest that Dom shouldn't be the CEO for the company's image. This means too much to him, Clover. I can't ruin this.
Marco's crazier than I thought. I get what you're saying, but you also can't let him be with that witch. I said the same before. You have to tell him everything and let him deal with it.
I'm not sure about that. He's just become the CEO, and I don't want him to be dealing with a press scandal.
Did Dom tell you about the CEO announcement himself?
Nope. I just read it in the news like everyone else.
Just talk to him, Sadie.
Suddenly, we heard loud, angry voices downstairs, and Clover and I looked at each other in alarm before we ran down. And I found my dad in the lounge with Mom yelling at him. I see you guys have finally met again.
You asked your father to pay off my debts? And he's the one who has sorted out my immigration papers? How could you do this without asking me?
Can you just calm down?
No, I don't want your help. We were doing just fine without you.
By then, I just had it. No, we're not, Mom. We are not doing fine. I know you've been working yourself to the bone to take care of me, and I love you for that. But we can't handle everything ourselves. I had asked someone else to handle your papers before, but I couldn't trust him anymore. And I can't worry about you being deported one day, or deal with the idea of thugs turning up to terrorize us, Mom. And I've got my own stupid school drama. It's just all getting too much for me, Mom. Mom looked at me, stunned, as tears rolled down my cheeks. You don't have to forgive Dad right away. You're allowed to feel angry. But I do want to have him around, and I want our lives to be less stressful. So please, Mom, for my sake, just try to make some peace with the situation. I hate that you're mad at me. You're my best friend.
Hey, that's me. No one gets my spot.
Mom and I looked at her, and suddenly, we all started laughing.
Believe me, I'm not trying to take Sadie away from you. I have no expectations from you either, except hoping that you'll forgive me one day and accept me as part of Sadie's life. I won't help you again without running it by you first. Okay?
Mom sighed and sat down on the couch.
Okay, I need time to accept all this, but I am willing to try for Sadie. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't realize the toll it was taking on you.
I sat down next to her and hugged her. You know, Mom, I have an idea. Let's go to Cuba to visit Grandma. You haven't been home in the longest time. And with your papers sorted out, it won't be an issue now. I really think we could use a break, don't you? Mom looked up at me and pressed my hand.
Let's do it.
It had been a crazy 3 days since Dad had made the announcement, and with all the meetings, briefings, and press interviews, I was coming back home really late every night. Tonight, I'd come back a little early, and I decided I just had to talk to Sadie. Just as I was going over to her place, the phone started ringing.
You need to come back to the office right now.
Is everything okay?
No, it's not, but I can't discuss this over the phone.
Okay, I'll be right there. And when I got to biotech, I was even more surprised to find Ace in Dad's office, with 2 security guards standing next to him. What's going on here?
I had a feeling I couldn't trust your brother anymore, and I was right. I had one of my men approach Ace, acting like a competitor who was interested in buying the research you worked on for a lot of money. And guess what? Ace made a deal with him.
I stared at Ace in shock. Are you serious? I know you hate me, but you would really do that to Dad's company? What is your problem? Ace leapt from his chair, about to attack me, but the security men held him back.
My problem is that I'm just better than you. I've always been better than you, and you robbed me of something I've been dreaming of my whole life.
Ace, I don't know how to deal with you right now. This is breaking my heart. Even if I made Dom the CEO, I expected you to be by his side, helping him build the company up. But you're too busy tearing him down, and you don't even care about how it hurts me. I'm sending you away to France to live with your mother. I don't want you around, not till I can trust you again. If I ever can. Go home and pack your things.
Ace looked shocked, then stormed off with the security guards behind him. I was still reeling from the news when I saw tons of missed calls from Clover. I excused myself and called her back.
Oh my God, finally!
Ow, can you please not shout?
Come outside the office building, now!
I rushed out to find Justin leaning against his car while Clover was pacing around impatiently. What's going on? Why are you two here together?
She can't drive, and she forced me to bring her here because the princess couldn't take the bus. And it's some sort of emergency.
Can you please shut up? Dom, Sadie's leaving. Margot threatened her. You have to talk to her. Well, to Sadie, not Margot. Well, also Margot, tell that witch to buzz off.
What are you even saying? And then Clover thrust an envelope in my hands. I opened it and was shocked to find pictures of Margot with bruises on her arms. What is this?
Margot sent these to Sadie. She's been threatening Sadie to stay away from you or she'll make these public and say you hurt her. Margot is insane. You can't be with her, Dom.
Oh my god, she is insane! And I broke up with her a few days ago anyway!
Well, I guess she still doesn't want to see you and Sadie be happy together. Which, by the way, if you want to be, you gotta tell her something right now. Like right now, before she takes a plane to Cuba.
Sadie is going to Cuba?
You've been really busy, and Sadie has been dealing with a lot, so she and her mom are going to Cuba for a month to take a break from all of it. She told me to give you this file after she was gone, but I thought you should know everything right away, and you shouldn't let her go without talking to her. Also, FYI, she never liked Ace.
Dude, just go to the airport and talk to Sadie so this weirdo can stop talking.
My mind was all over the place, but I just had to focus on one thing. Catch Sadie before her flight. Okay, I'm off. Thanks. Wish me luck. And with that, I sped off in my car.
Do I need to drop you off home too? I have an important game to get to.
Oh my god, I play this too! Wait, you're Unbeatable Beast? For real? I've been beating your butt for weeks.
Your sharks can't poop?
Yep, come on, drive me home and we'll stop by for ice cream on the way. I'll teach you some of my winning tricks.
Crazy girl.
Mom and I had just gotten through the long security lines at the airport, and I was about to switch my phone to airplane mode when I noticed a bunch of missed calls from Dominic. Just then, I heard someone shouting,
Sadie, wait! Sadie, please, wait!
As he ran up to me, I stared at him in shock. Dom, what are you doing here?
Oh god, I need to catch my breath. Okay, I'm fine. Listen, how could you just leave without talking to me for a month?
You've been ignoring me for weeks. What's another month?
Sadie, I'm so sorry. I was really stupid. I just got really jealous seeing you and Ace together. I think he led me to believe some things that weren't true. And yes, I was flattered by Margot's attention, but I think I just agreed to go out with her just because you were seeing Ace. Also, Clover told me Margot was threatening you, and I'll take care of that. Also, I broke up with her a few days ago. It just never felt right because, well, I've been in love with you for a while. And it's okay if you don't feel the same way, I just had to tell you.
I threw my arms around him. I think I feel the same way about you, dummy.
You think?
Aw, you guys, this is so sweet. Sorry to interrupt, but it's the final boarding call. Unless, Sadie, you don't want to go?
Oh, no, Mom. Of course I'll go.
You don't have to, love. You can stay with Clover. Or your dad.
You'd be okay with that?
Wait, your dad?
See? You two have a lot of catching up to do. And yes, I'll be okay with that, Sadie. I'll see you in a month.
Dom and I waved her goodbye as she left for her flight. Then we turned to each other, feeling kinda awkward. This feels a bit weird, right?
A little, but weird in a good way.
I agree. Dom smiled at me warmly, and I just couldn't help pulling him in for a kiss. He kissed me back, and it felt just right.